Imagine you've worked hard for decades, dedicating your life to public service, and now it's finally time for you to retire. Now, you're expecting to receive a cash lump sum benefit of 1/3 of your pension fund. But did you know that GEPF's calculations might result in you getting significantly less? Now, as a GEPF member, it's essential for you to be aware of all the factors that can affect your retirement benefits. In this video, I'll be discussing the lesser known aspects of GEPF's retirement costs that you must consider before making a decision on retiring or resigning. Now, stay tuned and let's uncover this information together, the information that you need to secure a financially stable future for you and your loved ones. Now, we're heading off looking at a GEPF member statement. I'll put one up here, but please make sure that you get your latest one when you're doing this calculation. And the calculation is really easy to do. There's just two pieces of information I want you to be aware of. The first is in terms of your retirement benefits, and you'll notice it here on the left-hand side. The lump sum gratuity for this particular member sits at 1,257,000. So that's the first figure I want you to be mindful of, that lump sum gratuity. This is what you may believe to be a 1/3 value, right? It's what you may believe to be 1/3. Below that, I want you to notice your resignation benefit. Now, in this case, for this member, the resignation benefit sits at 5,119,863. I'm heading over to the iPad so you can see me do the calculation there and also follow along on the figures that I've got listed out for you already, right? So as we've seen in the statement, the gratuity sits at 1.2 million. The resignation benefit sits at 5.1 million. Now, how do we get a 1/3 benefit? It's simple. We're taking the resignation benefit and dividing that by 3. I'll do the calculation for you here on a calculator, but you can do the calculation on your own also just to double check it. So I'll put in the exact amount that's on the resignation benefit. So 5,119,863. Calculating the 1/3, it's easy. We're just dividing by 3. So I'll write this figure down, which is 1,706,621. So let's head over to the iPad to see, right? Okay. So notice there's a difference, right? When I've calculated the 1/3 value, that 1/3 sits at 1,706,000, meaning if this was your statement, you should be entitled to a 1/3 benefit sitting at 1.7 million. However, you can see at retirement, the gratuity is what's paid, and the gratuity sits at 1,257,000. There is a difference between the two, right? Let's calculate the difference. I'm basically taking this figure less that figure for us to see what this works out to. I'll do this now on a calculator. I already have the 1.7 million put in. Let's minus 1257641. And you can see the shortfall is alarming, right? It's almost 450,000 in this case, 448,980. Now, I've had some cases where the difference has been even higher than this. It all depends, again, on your years of service and exactly what the resignation value is sitting at. Now, if you're doing the calculation and you find that something's not right or it doesn't actually work out to how I'm showing it to you here, obviously your figures will defer to this. But here's an important thing that I want you to be mindful of as well. Notice that inside of your statement, your retirement benefits are calculated as at age 60, right? So all your retirement benefits are calculated to age 60. But the resignation benefit is a current, right? The resignation benefit is current, meaning if you get a GEPF statement as at the end of this month, the resignation value that you see there, that's a current estimate. That's what it is now. But your retirement figure is always calculated to the future. Now, let me show it to you in terms of the fine print on your statement so you see where to read this. You notice here on this particular member statement, it's got normal retirement, it says estimated, and then it has a number at the end there, 9, which will read the point. On your statement, it might not be 9, it might be a different number, but you just want to shift to the side to see exactly what does point 9 refer to. And you can see here for this particular point, it says normal retirement age is defined in terms of GEPF's rules as at age 60, right? It says these benefit calculations are estimated and assume you'll retire at 60. Meaning when GEPF is showing you the calculations here on your retirement benefit, that takes into account that you are at age 60. Let's assume that you are 58. That means you're 2 years away from retirement. It means these calculations are already 2 years ahead. If you are leaving earlier, let's look at what happens, right? So notice GEPF is going on further to say, if you choose to retire before you turn 60 or 65, your estimated benefits reflected on the statement will be adjusted. Meaning this is where there's that sort of penalty, right? Because now you're leaving a little earlier than the planned time. So you can't get the value that you're seeing on the statement because that's always forward calculated. Now, if you're already past 60, what's important to note here, if you are past 60, it goes on to explain in this way. It says, if you are older than 60, your retirement benefits are estimated up to 65. So again, let's assume you are 61. That means the figures that you're seeing here are now calculated to age 65. It's always a future calculation, right? Whereas if we look at the bottom, the resignation value is always current as at the time that you got that particular statement. Now, how do you counter this? It's very, very easy. I'm going to head over onto the iPad to explain it, right? Because you almost want to get to a point where you can match apples with apples, it's important for you to ensure that the figures are aligned, so then you get the calculation done properly, right? So as close as possible. So it's really easy. You can pay close attention. Because your resignation value is current and your retirement value is calculated in future, either to age 60 or to age 65, what you want to do is you want to reach out to GEPF. You can call them or email them and request a GEPF statement that is as at 1 month before your retirement age. So before you retire. So let me explain it, right? Let me use an example so that you understand this well, right? Let's assume now you are at age 58, and the calculations therefore will be to age 60, right? Which is 2 years out. It means your resignation value will be different as at that time, right? Chances are this is what would happen with the resignation value. Whatever it's sitting with now, it would be more at the time that you actually get to 60. Now, what you want to do is get that figure so that when you're doing the calculation, it sort of makes sense, right? You're calculating accurate values. The way to request it is you just request a statement from GEPF, ask them for a statement as at 1 month before you are retiring. Let's assume that you are retiring in December, then you're going to ask for a statement 1 month before and 1 month before, which will be November. So then the figures are relatively accurate. And that's when you can do the calculation like what I've shared with you now to get an idea as to what I would call the cost of retirement, right? So this figure here is what I am referring to as the cost of retirement. It's something that most members are not aware of because often members are under the impression, and maybe you have this, you've been told this as well, that if you had to retire, the gratuity that you are getting is a 1/3 lump sum. But as you can see from the calculation, it's not a 1/3 lump sum. It's significantly less. Again, when you do your calculation, you'll get to see exactly what that figure is working out to. Now, what's the next step that you want to be mindful of is naturally you want to get a feel for what would happen on resignation, right? So you want to get an understanding as to the cost of resignation so you can compare the two. Because when you get into that point of deciding whether to retire or resign, there's a number of factors that must be considered before you're heading in that direction, right? And cost is one of it. So now you've got good understanding as to what takes place from a cost perspective here. The question I want to ask you is, what happens to this money? So in this case, it's 448,000. This is one member. That's 448,000 less than what the member was expected. What if there are 100 members like this? What if there are 1,000 members like this? Now, there are over 1 million members that are within GEPF. So what's actually happening with the money that members are not getting paid out in the event of them retiring? So you can comment below to share your thoughts on that. Also comment below if you've done the calculation. Don't share your figures because obviously that's confidential, but just give me a low or high, right? So comment below and let me know, is your gratuity less than 1/3? Tell me less than 1/3. If your gratuity for some reason ends up being higher than 1/3, you can compare or post below. Or if you need any support in terms of how to go about doing the calculation, comment below so that I can give you the advice. If you found the video helpful, I encourage you to click the thumbs up sign so I know I'm on track with providing you with the kind of support that I'm aiming to. I also want you to do me a favor and share the video out, right? YouTube is a free channel. It's important that the GEPF community stands together, or GEPF members. So share this video link with other members who are needing this kind of support, who may also be at that position where they need guidance on retiring or resigning and perhaps unaware of these intricacies, right? I'll see you on the next video.